The Jacksonville Jaguars had it in the bag against the Houston Texans until CJ Stroud showed up and started throwing the ball all over the yard. A 37-17 butt kicking of Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars has Jacksonville looking around going, wait, what happened? Now 1-2, the favorites to win the AFC South, trying to figure things out. Tony Wiggins from Locked On Jaguars, always figuring things out for us. And so, Tony, what is the bigger problem right now for this Jaguars team? Because it feels like you could go either way, offense or defense.
We're going with drops and blocks. How about that? Drops and blocks. The wide receivers lead the league in drop passes, so that's not a good thing. And then there's no room for margin of error. There's no room, and the reason for that is because you can't beat what you can't block. They're not blocking people. Trevor's running for his life. One side of the line is playing okay. Walker Little's doing all right at left tackle, but they basically had a rookie, Anton Harrison, trying to block Chris Brown. That'd be hard to do, wouldn't it? Chris Jones, when they moved him out to defensive end, and they didn't help him. The middle three aren't working very well. Brandon Sheriff hasn't played particularly well. You just can't block what you can't beat. When you don't win the trenches, then you have to literally win everything else. And the Jaguars let a fullback, a 270-pound fullback, mishandle the kickoff on one side of the field, pick it up, and proceed to look like Barry freaking Sanders. Everything went wrong. So it's like once you saw the fullback and then you look at the replay and you see dudes jogging, you're like, they ain't winning today. It's just what it is. They're not winning.
As someone who once saw Dan Connolly, who was a backup offensive lineman, return a kick against the Green Bay Packers back in the day for the New England Patriots, I felt you on that one for sure. This feels like a season so far where the numbers are not going to do Trevor Lawrence justice. He is making some absolutely unbelievable throws. You mentioned the league leading drops. Calvin Ridley had a couple just absolute stone cold drops in this game where you go, this is what we brought you here for.
Right.
And so that seems like it's the kind of thing that can even out over time, but it still has to do that. Is there anything Doug Peterson can do, to your mind, to make things easier on this offense? Because it feels like right now they're playing in a little bit of hard mode.
They keep talking about execution and they keep talking about just getting it right and going back to the drawing board. And when you start
blocking some people would help, to your point.
Right. But when you start hearing coaches say stuff like maybe scale it back and simplify things a little bit, I think they're getting the ball to too many people. They're being really cute. Like Jamal Agnew, good player, great special teams, one of the top 3 or 4 return guys in the league. They use him as a little bit of a change of pace guy. But he's fumbled the ball 3 of the last 4 games. And when he's done it when we've had great field position, when we've had great momentum, or they were going in to score. You know what? You sit guys like that. As much as you like them, you say, you're hurting us right now, and I can't give you the ball. They need to come out. It's Trevor Lawrence, it's Travis Etienne, it's Calvin Ridley, it's Ingram, the tight end, and then a little bit of Christian Kirk. They need to ride those guys until the wheels fall off, until they get a lead, and then maybe start incorporating some of these other people. They just need to lean on their better players.
This was a Houston Texans team that came in extremely banged up along the offensive line. They hit CJ Stroud 4 times, did not sack him once. This is theoretically why you use the number 1 pick on Trayvon Walker, when even if Josh Allen isn't 100%, you have someone else who can pick up the slack. Why are they not getting more out of this defensive front?
I think he's lined up wrong. And they have those guys, for the most part, they're in a 3-4, and they're angled towards the quarterback. When I see teams play against the Jaguars, I see the defensive ends lined straight up. And when they pass rush, they take 4 yards up the field before they even turn to the quarterback. I don't like the way they're being taught to rush. I think Trayvon might end up being a better 3 technique. They put 10 pounds on him and get him up to 282, 285. Now he's doing what he did at Georgia. He's in close proximity. He has an advantage over those guys. He's just not a natural pass rusher, and I think they thought they could develop him into that because he's 6'5", runs a 4.5, can dunk basketballs all different kinds of ways. They saw his athletic profile, but here's what they did. They might have made a misjudgment. He is a guy that I think at some point will start getting 7-8 sacks a year, but he's just not that dude that wakes up trying to chase quarterbacks. Those guys are natural. I think they're born that way, and I just don't think that's what he is at this point.
And there's a guy up in Detroit right now who does seem like he was born that way. I didn't mean to throw a little shot in there, but just